Hi folks, Merlin here, bringing you another November video for the old world. So I had a good bit of feedback to my last Skaven video, and people are asking for more. So that's what I'm here to do. So today I'm going to be bringing you a painting video. I'm going to show you how to paint a Clan Moors Stormvermin. And we're just using less than 10 paints actually, which is pretty impressive. There are a few shortcuts you could do. I will go over those later on in the video. But yeah, so I'll put a list of the paints I'm going to be using just up here, hopefully for you to see. So before we do get into anything, I'd like to thank everybody, of course, for tuning in and also for supporting me throughout my 2 to 3 years now, nearly, on the channel, on YouTube. I'll have to look it up and find out. I think it's 2 years. I know I started back in COVID, but yeah. Big thank you to everyone who likes, comments, and shares my videos around, gets me noticed. Big thank you to anyone who wishes to support me. There's ways you can do that. Check the link in the video description down below. Patreon is going to be revamped again. I know I said this time last year. I'm going to definitely do a lot more work this time around. I'm not going to take a break over Christmas like I did last year. I'm going to actually focus and get some stuff done on for the channel and, you know, Patreon and stuff. But I'm working on the script for a Mumbles, so I will save all that for another video. The last thing to say then is to don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying the content, and if you are, please do subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as I've already mentioned, check the links in the description box down below, including the Mad Merlin's Patreon, where you can help support the channel from as little as £3. So yeah, not too bad. Right then, let's hop over the table and we'll paint ourselves the Stormvermin. So here we have the Stormvermin in question on a base. So these are just MDF bases that I picked up from WW Scenics. And yeah, looks pretty good. So he's currently sprayed with matte black from Colourforge, but we're going to go straight to a light colour, which is a little bit backwards. So we're going straight to Rack Flesh and get that over most of him, just to help the other colours go on a little easier. So I'm actually using a pretty large brush. It's a large base brush from Citadel's STC range. I just want to get a rough layer of Rack Flesh down, really. So this will of course be the base layer for a lot of his cloth detail. So we want to get a solid coat mainly around the cloth and flesh areas if we can. So you might want to do a couple of coats just to make sure it goes over the black. The areas we can avoid though are the blade on the dagger and the halberd, as silver goes over the black quite nicely anyway. Now we've got a good solid layer of Rack Flesh down, we can bring in our next colour, which is Mephiston Red. And this is for that iconic Clan Moors red armour. So I got a medium base brush this time. So we just want to pick out the red armour panels. Over Rack Flesh, one coat should be enough. Don't forget to get his helmet And the bit I always forget are the shoulder plates up underneath his cloth here. A little bangle. And his leg armour as well. One of the things I like about the Stormvermin is their armour is really nicely segmented. As you can see, kind of reminds me of samurai armour. Or at least something from the feudal era of Japan. With the red armour done, we're going to move over to Mechanica Standard Grey, and this is the base all of the fur. So this is one of the areas where I said you could cheat if you want, and that's to literally paint the entire arm with Mechanica Standard Grey. But just so he matches into the rest of the unit I've already painted, I'm going to just paint the selected areas of the arm where there's textured fur. And we'll paint the flesh underneath in just a sec. But like I said, you could cheat, do the entire arm this fur colour, and then just pick out the hand with a flesh tone. Don't forget to get the fur up underneath his helmet there as well. Pay close attention, some models will have hair on the back of the legs as well. We can just about see a little bit up underneath there, so we'll get that. Next we're going to flip over to Abaddon Black, and this is for all the leather straps, including the belt. So this is the most prominent area to do. So he just got his belt along there to do. There's a strap coming off his collar. And we've got the straps on the reverse side of the bangles, just behind his wrist, and also on his leg armour. If any of the models you're painting have pouches, paint this as well. I've got a small little leather pouch. I'm actually going to be doing that a different colour in just a sec, just to help differentiate it from other pouches. Up next we're going to move over to Cadian Flesh Tone, and this is to paint all of the flesh areas. So we've got a nice small brush here, I've got an old medium layer, and we're just going to block in any areas that need to be flesh. So his arms, hands, his tail, don't forget his feet as well, and of course his muzzle. And be sure to get around his eye and ear. Moving on, we need a tiny bit of Xandri dust. This is just for his teeth. And any large claws like the ones on his exposed toe there. And before we move on to the metallics, we'll just use a little bit of dried bark, and that's to paint his little pouch here. And also the wooden haft of the halberd. If you decided to build your Stormvermin with shields, I'd also suggest painting the backs of your shields with this colour, and then paint the fronts with Mephiston red. Moving on to our metallics, we're going to use lead belcher, and this is for blades and any chainmail linking we have. So we've got a little bit in between his armour there. If we do overspill like I've just done there, it's not to worry. We'll call that a bit of a chip in his armour, because Skaven aren't known for keeping the best condition of their war gear. And we got, of course, the blade for the halberd. Should hopefully only need the one coat, but if you do see any black showing through, just come back in with a second coat. And our final colour before the wash is Balthazar Gold, and this is for the grips on any daggers and any Skaven symbols like the one there on his belt. You could also choose to do a select few details on the command group with Balthazar Gold, just to help make them look a little more fancy. So our little Stormvermin is looking nicely done, but it looks a little too clean for a rat. So our final coat paint is to give him a coat of Agrax Earthshade. So I'll just load up the brush, apply this all over, working it into all the recesses. This will dirty up his armour, his robes and weapons, make him look like he's been fighting in the pits of the Under Empire. There we have it. One Stormvermin finished. While the wash was drying, I went ahead and put down some Sterling mud. Then once that was dried, I gave it a dry brush of Carrick Stone just to help match in with all my other Skaven models. I even got a little bit of Carrick Stone over his feet and the bottom of his halberd. Looked like he's been trudging through a dusty underground hallway of those dwarf things. So yeah, I'll grab a few high-res photos to stick in, as well as some photos of him with his unit. So there we have it, a Clan Moors painted up Stormvermin. Hope you enjoyed this little paint tutorial. Let me know what you'd like to see next in the way of old world / Skaven content, and I will try to work out something. I have Skaven in both Age of Sigmar and Old World, so I can easily do a few different paint tutorials for the different game systems. I'm definitely doing a more not a term used for Skaven, but a uniformed colour scheme for the Age of Sigmar section. I have Gracia Frankwell, who I rebased a couple of years back, so I'm going to give him and Bone Ripper a little bit of an update paint scheme to match in and go for an army focused around him. So a lot of the dark teal, greeny blue colour, so I use Stegodon Scale Green personally, and red cloth for a lot of it. And yeah, that'll be pretty much how I'll be going forward with that. For Old World, I'm just about to start week 4 of November. And yeah, I've got 20 Clan Rats, a Warlock Bombardier, 3 Jezzails, and a Rat and Gun team to do. plus anything else that I might think of doing as well. So yeah, definitely on schedule for getting my starter army sorted, ready for next year and the old world. I do plan to add rat ogres and lightning cannons to my army, but I am holding off on waiting to know what their base sizes will be. Hopefully they'll still be 40 mil for the rat ogres and chariot bases, which is 60 by 100, I think, or 50 by 100. Yeah, hoping they're on the same base as they always were on. I've got plenty chariot bases still lying around in my old fantasy box, and I think I have a few square bases as well. Plus, I've got plenty of I've got a few rat ogres, not plenty, I wouldn't say. I've got a few rat ogres in my old bits box that I can easily rebase or touch up to match in. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you'd want to see next, as I mentioned. Don't forget, of course, to check all the links and stuff in the video description. And until next time, this is Merlin saying, Doom, doom, and death, death. Thank you, and goodbye.